Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. I recently saw Lauren May Beauty do this video and I thought it was such a fun idea that I had to do it for myself. So today we are going to be talking all about older makeup products in my collection that still like have that spark to it, still get me super excited to use them, although they've been in my collection for quite some time. I will leave Lauren's video linked down below as well as her channel. I absolutely love Lauren, so definitely go check out her channel and her video. I have a desk full of products to talk about. As I was pulling products out of my collection, I was like, dang, there are quite a few like older favorites still in my collection. There's quite a few lip favorites, which I don't know why, but I wasn't necessarily expecting there to be a ton of like lip products that still spark joy. But then as I was pulling them, I was like, okay, yeah, these are like my definite absolute staples. A lot of the products that I discussed today, you guys have probably heard me talk about a million times, because you guys know when I love a product, I love a product and I literally will not shut up about it. So if you're interested in probably hearing me talk again about many of the products that are still sparking, they still create that spark, that excitement in my life when I reach for them and use them, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content or just chit-chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Okay, you guys, I have so many products in front of me. I'm like, maybe I don't have that many, and then I started pulling them and I was like, I have a lot. Let me start with the one non-makeup product, but I had to talk about this. It is the Replica by the Fireside fragrance. This is my second bottle of this. I purchased this during this most recent Sephora VIB sale, and I absolutely love this. Typically, I feel like with scents, maybe not. Maybe that's not true, because I'm thinking of like MAC Turquotic, and that was like my scent in college. Like my friends would like be shopping and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I walked by the MAC counter, I smelled MAC Turquotic and I thought you were there. That was like my scent. So I went through like probably 3 or 4 bottles of that. But I'm the type of person, I have the personality, I get bored a lot. So for me to repurchase a fragrance, I feel like is a big deal, and I just will never, ever, 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 ever get sick of this fragrance. You guys know, I like to like, I can't describe scents, but I can describe like a scenario that like I feel like this scent encompasses. And for me, we're like out camping in a cabin, of course, like glamping. There's a cabin, there's hot showers. We're mostly there because we're like boating during the day and like having so much fun, but we're camping. There's a fire. We're making s'mores, roasting marshmallows, maybe doing like popcorn over the fire, having Fireball whiskey shots, and somebody's strumming on the guitar playing Kumbaya. That is what I imagine when I put that fragrance on every morning. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about 2 primers in my collection that I literally still love and adore. Let's talk about, are we even surprised at all? I can't remember the first tube of this I ever purchased. I want to say it was in 2017, 2018, and I've gone through multiple coconut skin smoothing priming moisturizers from First Aid Beauty. It is one of my favorite primers ever by far. This and the one I'm about to talk about, it's like they're my favorite primers literally ever. I just can't get enough of this. It has a nostalgic scent to me because this was like the primer that got me into primers. So when I smell it, it just like makes me think of like when I was first falling in love with makeup. But this also, I love the scent of coconut, and it makes me think of like this warm summer. This is super hydrating and it adds a beautiful glow to the skin. So truly, I just cannot get enough of the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. And then the Milani Chill Out primer is just so good. It is a soothing primer. It has wild oat extracts and ceramides. It has this cooling sensation when you put it on, and it's not supposed to be like a smoothing primer per se, but it has a very smoothing component to it without feeling like distracting or heavy on the skin. I just absolutely love it. It feels calming and it feels very moisturizing on the skin, but it also evens my skin out, and I feel like makes such a difference in making my makeup just look smoother and last longer. Plus, this is at a very affordable or more affordable price tag, so you gotta love that. I just have one concealer to discuss. It is the Kosas concealer. This is my second tube of the Kosas concealer. I just love this concealer. If I could only use one concealer for the rest of my life, it would be the Kosas. I do also love the LYS, but the Kosas just like truly has my heart. I will say my packaging broke on my first one, which like drove me nuts towards the end. I've heard the packaging has broken for many a person, and I'm trying to be more gentle with this tube. So hopefully my packaging doesn't break, because that's the only downside to this concealer. But it's very hydrating underneath the eyes while still providing tons of coverage. And you can really manipulate the coverage to kind of be what you're looking for in a given day. So you can really sheer it out, or you can let it sit for 30 seconds and then blend it out for a more full coverage look. And it's just a very flexible product in that way, and I absolutely love that. I have only one foundation. It's the Dior Forever, and I think they have reformulated this yet again. But if I am going to do anything where I want my makeup to just look good, any event that I'm going to, when I was recently traveling for work, this is the foundation that I brought with me because it is just foolproof. I know it's gonna look good. It's easy to use and it just lasts all day. It has a satin matte finish, which typically is, I wouldn't say isn't my preference, but I prefer a more natural looking finish. But this still looks like natural on the skin, and it just has such good wear power. It looks so beautiful. It wears away gracefully when it does wear away, but it lasts truly forever. I love this foundation so much. This is my second or third jar of this. I've also gone through a Dior Forever Glow, which I also love. The Dior foundation, man, is just my tippity top #1 forever. I want to say the first time I started using this foundation was again like 2017, 2018. And I won't ever stop buying this unless the reformulated version sucks so much, and I hope it doesn't. I have so much congestion, so if my nose starts looking really red, it's because my nose is so runny. But it is what it is. I do have one powder that still like just sparks so much joy in my heart, and it is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh. My first one actually cracked, so I recently purchased another one. This powder is just so beautiful. You can set your whole face with this, and it's not gonna look like you have powder on your face. Your skin is still gonna look healthy and skin-like, which I just think is so rare to find in a powder. And this is just one I continue to go back to. Again, if I want my makeup to last but look just skin-like and good all day, this is the powder I reach in for. And I just think it's such a good one. Drugstore, so better pricing on this. And this is one that just continues to be a favorite for me again and again. There are two bronzers. I have a larger bronzer collection, so, and I love to just rotate through my bronzers, but truly these two are like my fallback forevers. So up first I have this one from Fenty Beauty. It is in the shade Into Sun, and this is the lightest shade. This is a very buildable bronzer, and the reason I feel like this one just continues to be like one of my tippity top favorites is because it is so buildable. So me, who's a little heavy-handed and loves my bronzer, I can appreciate a bronzer that is more buildable, which is what I'm getting with this. It is just so stunning. It is literally so finely milled and smooth on the skin. It just creates the most perfect sun-kissed airbrushed bronze, and I absolutely love it. I have a pan in this. This is also like the never-ending bronzer, so I feel like it's like a really great bang for your buck. I've had this bronzer for so long. It's been one of my most reached for bronzers in my collection, and yet I don't think I'm anywhere close to expanding this pan. So the Fenty Into Sun bronzer continues to be a tippity top favorite. Y'all know I love my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer as well, but I think this one is like starting to like steal the place of the Charlotte Tilbury again. I think. When I do my middle of the year category rankings this year, we'll have to see where it lies. And then this one may come as a surprise because I don't feel like I talk about this one too often, but this is the NARS Sun-Kissed Cream Bronzer, and I have mine in the shade Laguna. So I purchased this when this was limited edition, and thank goodness they brought this back as a permanent addition to their line. I remember when I first used this, I didn't realize how pigmented this was going to be, and I went in with way too much product right away, so I didn't think I was going to love this. But over time, this has come to be one of my absolute favorite bronzers. I definitely go in with a light hand with this one, but it does offer more full coverage if you want. You can also sheer it out, but for a cream bronzer, it adds more of a full coverage bronze than some other cream bronzers. I don't know if you're tracking where I'm going with this, but it is one of my more favorite cream bronzers in my collection, and that has taken time for me to get there. But when I think about the cream bronzers or cream or liquid bronzers in my collection I'm most excited to reach for, this is the one that comes to mind. And the first times I used this bronzer as well was when I was on vacation in Florida, so that could be part of it. Like, it just like brings me back to the Florida sunshine, but love that bronzer still today. Okay, you guys, I have 4 blushes to talk about. I have a larger blush collection, and again, I went with like older products. So there's like, I'm thinking of like Makeup by Mario Desert Rose. I love that product. That still makes me so happy, but it's newer in my collection. Buxom Seychelles. Like, who can remember when I would literally talk about this blush in every single video? I would find a way to bring this blush up. I actually have this blush on my cheeks today. It's still just, I love this blush. It is still a top contender in my blush collection. It's just perfect. It is not a matte blush. I don't prefer a matte. It has this really beautiful satin sheen to it. It's on the neutral side. I can mix this with blushes that might be a little bit more pigmented that I prefer to kind of sheer it out. And if I am just stuck on like what I want my blush to be for the day, this is the one that I always reach for. Also, the Nabla Skin Glazing in Truth, I just am so obsessed with. I've been obsessed with this since I purchased this in, I think, summer of 2021. I love to mix this with Angel Suede by Lawless. I think that combo is so beautiful. If you like a matte cheek, you're not gonna be a fan of this. This is a very glowy product, but I love a glowy complexion, so this is just right up my alley, and this continues to be one of my favorite glowy blushes to reach for in my collection. This little janky depotted blush topper, this I depotted out of a Smashbox face palette, and I purchased that Smashbox face palette, I believe, in 2015. So this has been in my collection for quite some time, and I think every year it's in my collection, I love it just a little bit more. I put this on my face in some capacity almost every day. Sometimes I use it kind of as like a subtle highlight. Sometimes I add it to like the apples of my cheek to add a little bit of a glow. I find so many ways to use this product, and I freaking adore it. I don't think the face palette is still available anymore, and I obviously just kept this one shade, but I truly cannot get enough of this shade. I will be so upset if and when I go through this entire pan. But I swear to you guys, I use this every single day, and I swear the pan doesn't grow. So it's like the never-ending blush topper. And then finally, I have this cream blush highlighter combo from Kosas. This is in the shade Tropic Equinox. I fell in love with this product. I think it was either 2020 or 2021. And I pulled this back out this past summer and just fell in love with this product. I think I love the highlighter even more than I love the blush, but I truly love both. The highlight is just the most beautiful, glossy, subtle, yet just like, I'm thinking of like the Giorgio Armani. It's always like all of a sudden I'm thinking of the most random thing ever. Like the Giorgio Armani perfume or like cologne magazine ad where they're like in the water and like there's water glistening off their skin. Like, I feel like they should be wearing this highlight in that campaign photo. Like, it's just, that is what I have in mind. It's so beautiful. And then the blush is also kind of reminds me of like a cream version of Buxom Seychelles. This is definitely more warm, whereas this is a little bit more neutral, cool leaning. But this is such a sheer, neutral, beautiful wash of color. When I first purchased this, I thought I was gonna be able to use this as a cream bronzer. It's definitely more of a cream blush shade for me, but I have clearly used a lot of this. I want to come back to this product and try and, I don't know if I could finish this up this year, but This is something I would 100% repurchase if this went off or if I finish this off, because I just truly love both products in this so much. And if you like cream products, I could not recommend this product enough to you. Moving on to the highlight category, I have 2 highlighters to discuss. Up first, I have Becca Rose Quartz. And actually, I should have grabbed my Bobbi Brown Pink Glow. I accidentally left that, but that is also, I love my Bobbi Brown Pink Glow, okay? Love that one so much. That's been a staple for absolute years at this point. When I finish my mini, I would repurchase the mini because the mini's taken me so long to get through. That's such a beautiful one. Becca Rose Quartz is a little bit more warm pink than the Bobbi Brown Pink Glow one. The Bobbi Brown Pink Glow one is a little bit icier, whereas Becca is a little bit more warm tone. So I reach for this one, or prefer the way this one looks just a little bit more. I have such a large pan in this. I am hoping that I can finish this year. I do have another Becca Rose Quartz in one of my face palettes, and I'm so happy because this has been my favorite highlight shade for at least 3, if not 4 or 5 years at this point in time, and it's still my top contending highlight. And then the NAABH Amrezy highlighter, if I am wanting like a champagne gold highlight, I just still get so excited to reach for this one. I think it's so beautiful on the cheeks. It is definitely more intense, which has not been my preference as of the last year and a half. But if I am looking for an intense glow, this is a highlight that I still get so excited to reach for every single time that I reach into this. I'm never disappointed in the way that it looks. And it's something that like, I just feel like I am always thinking about in terms of like, am I gonna pull it for my shop, my stash, etc. Still remains an absolute favorite highlight in my collection. So that brings us to lips. I just grabbed one of each shade of the lip products I'm about to talk to you guys about, but just know with all of these, I have multiple shades in each. Love them so much. Let's start with the Co-Pari Lip Glossy, because I've been talking about this for years. I love this so much. I have gone through probably 7 or 8 full tubes of the Co-Pari Lip Glossy. It's not going to like hydrate your lips back to health, but it does still feel so comfortable on your lips, even if you do have really dry lips. It looks so glossy, and it's not sticky literally at all. It's one of my favorite gloss formulas. Love it so much. This one is typically my car gloss, so like a gloss that I always have floating around in my car, but I have so many of these. I have one in my desk drawer, I have one in my nightstand, I have one in my purse, I have one literally everywhere. The Co-Pari Lip Glossy is a forever favorite for me. Also the Kosas lip oils. These are very expensive, but I just absolutely love them. I have gone through, I think 3 or 4 full tubes. I still have 3 or 4 still lingering in my collection. This one right here is in the shade Unzipped, which I think is supposed to be like a lip plumping version. I don't think it like lip plumps, but I do really enjoy the shade. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's this really beautiful pale pink. I also love the shade Jaws, which is a red. It gives the most perfect popsicle lip effect in the summer. Love that one so much. The Fenty Lip Glossy is just a tried and true staple favorite. I will never not have Fenty lip glosses in my collection. I have so many of them. There's so many great shades out there. I know not everybody loves the Fenty Lip Glossy formula, but I personally do. There are some that have a little bit more grit and texture to them, but there are some that do not. I prefer the ones that aren't as gritty, but I still love the lip glossy formula in general. Sweet Tooth is my favorite shade. Y'all knew I was gonna talk about Lawless Forget the Filler, right? The Lawless Forget the Filler lip plumping gloss, I just feel annoyed at myself already because I repeat myself so much. I'm gonna put this on right now because I feel like my lips are looking like they've needed gloss this entire video. So this has a bit of a minty sensation, but it's not painful in the least. Like I'm thinking of like the Viper gloss by Nabla, like where your lips actually hurt and sting. It's not like that at all. It's gonna offer a bit of a minty sensation, less so even than the Buxom glosses, but it just makes your lips look so glossy and so juicy. You can't see like the raisiny, wrinkly lines that I personally always have in my lips. It is the most stunning gloss formula ever. I love it so, so much. I literally want all of the shades, all of them. I've gone through a full tube. I have like 7 of these currently in my collection. I can't get enough. Also Tower 28, their lip jellies, so good. This is in the shade Chill, which if you're looking for just a clear gloss, get Tower 28 Chill. I feel like these are really reasonably priced, and they're, again, just a very comfortable formula. They kind of remind me of the Co-Pari Lip Glossy in that they're just thinner, but they have a really good wear time, and they are like the least sticky formula ever in my opinion. So love the Tower 28 lip jellies. And then finally the Huda Beauty Silk Balm in Rose Quartz. This is, again, so comfortable on the lips. It actually does feel kind of balmy in that it does nourish and hydrate the lips. There are a couple different shades now. I have the shade Love Stone, which is such a beautiful, again, pale pink. I love a pale pink lip. And this is something, I've gone through a mini of this, and I will continue to purchase and own at least one of the full size of my collection because I still love this gloss formula so much. And then finally, I have 3 palettes to wrap it up with. Up first, I have this one from Natasha Denona. I actually had Major Pan in mine and it was cracking and breaking, so I purchased another. And this is the mini nude eyeshadow palette. This is just a staple. If I don't know what I want to do for the day, I will reach into the mini nude and I'm never disappointed in my look. I can do something super simple where I do one shadow in my crease and I'm done. Or I can go in with one of my favorite shades ever, Sienna, and create a look that looks like I took so much time to create it, but I really didn't. This is just such a staple comfort palette for me, and I will never stop loving that one. This hair is bothering me. Also, the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction palette. I just feel like I've fallen in love, or I fall in love with this palette more and more over time. It's so stunning, so beautiful. I love all of the special like lid topper shades. Green shade's such a favorite. I love this like icy white shade. This pink shade, honestly, like one shadow, or like a one shadow and done look with like a winged liner. So good. This gold is my favorite gold in my collection. The mattes are good. It's such an expensive palette, but if you can get it on a discount, I had to do that. If you can get it on a discount, this is a staple. I would be so sad to not have this in my collection, and I would repurchase this if I lost it. And then the final product is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I love this palette so much. There's something about special green shades in a palette that just make my heart just beat so hard for it. I'm in green. I'm at like feeling like green like this right now. I don't know if it's like March and St. Patrick's Day, but like Target has a lot of green like this. This is a sports bra actually that I got from Target, and I want literally every green item like this. I cannot get enough of green right now. But this is just a comfort palette as well. There's so many just great neutral brown shades. Like I can create a neutral matte shade all day every day with this palette, but then I have so many pops of fun in this palette as well that may not look like fun when you just look in, but really on the eyes translates so well. There's so many different textures within this palette. I just absolutely love this one. This is another one I feel like I just love more with time. Like I've just grown to love this even more every year that I've owned it, and this is one I think has been discontinued, so I hope I never lose this, but I would never want to be without this palette in my collection. I obviously have tons of other favorites throughout my collection, but these are products that I feel like truly have stood the test of time and have just continued to be favorite makeup products throughout my collection for so long. I would love to know in the comments, what are some of your all-time favorite makeup products? Is there anything I need to go be testing out? Getting your favorites into my collection to turn into favorites. Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.